Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of the Kings of the South podcast, an NFC South podcast. I'm your host, Cory. As always, I'm joined with my co-host, Mr. Thomas Hodges. TJ, how you doing, buddy?
I'm down bad, man.
Yeah.
I'm down bad, man. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't want to record tonight. I'm a little, little heartbroken, man. But it's week one, so
Okay.
it's not over yet.
For the folks who've been living under a rock, the reason why my partner in crime here is a little, feeling a little blues because his Carolina Panthers rolled into the ATL, Hot Atlanta, and they were defeated 24-10 by my Atlanta Falcons. Before we jump into our game, let's jump around the NFC South.
Let's start with Saints.
Yeah, they pulled the rabbit out of the hat.
They did.
Defense looked dominant.
Yeah, defense looked damn good, but the offense struggled, and I don't know if it's because they're not as good as we think they were, or the Titans are that good on defense.
Well, I think it's a combination of both. I think the Titans has always been like you text me during the game, you were like, the Titans have no business being good, but they always are.
Don't. Ryan Tannehill threw 3 picks today.
And they lost by 1.
And they lost by 1 point.
Hey, is it Willis season yet?
Might be, or Will Levis.
Yeah.
One of the two, Mr. Mayonnaise.
Yeah. Let's talk briefly about the Saints pass catchers.
Yeah.
Pretty
Stat
good.
line wasn't that good.
Pretty good. Chris Olave went over 100 yards. Rashid Shaheed went over 80 plus with a touchdown, and slant boy Michael Thomas had a pretty good game. Had over 60 yards receiving. If they can keep up those stats, they should be in a lot of ball games. And
Yeah. I got stats here: 8 for 112 for Olave, 5 for 89 and a tutty for Shaheed, and then Michael Thomas 5 for 61. So I misspoke. I didn't mean to say they weren't that impressive. They were that impressive.
Yeah.
And then Derek Carr was 23 of 33, 305, a touchdown and a pick.
Yeah.
Not a bad debut for Derek Carr.
Yeah, not bad. I think that, it's like around the NFL, you'll see a lot of teams who are struggling. Everybody got a lot to clean up. They still got to get warmed up and get revved up and ready to go. So, yeah,
I like to look at week 1 and 2 as an extension of the preseason and the offseason training camp because a lot of these starters don't play in the preseason.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a good start, good home win for an
expected win.
Yeah. Now let's talk about probably one of the biggest upsets of the day.
Yeah.
The reigning defending Kings of the
South champs.
Yes.
Mayfield.
Baker, shake and bake, baby. Went up to Minnesota.
Yep.
And pulled out a W, man.
Yeah. I got his stat line right here. Before I read it off, though, I remember I texted you during the game, and I said Baker stinks.
Yeah.
Because at the time,
he was 3 for 12.
3 out of 12.
3 for 12.
3 out of 12 in completion. For people who don't know what I'm talking about. He completed 3 passes out of 12 attempts.
Yeah. It was
but he finished 21 of 34, 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. 1 to Palmer and then 1 to Mike Evans. The Mike Evans touchdown was a nice throw.
It was a beautiful throw.
Great route running by Mike Evans. So good that you think they would pay the man, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not complaining because if he hits free agency next year, watch out for Carolina.
Yeah. And the thing is, we knew that the Bucs would be good on defense, because they returned pretty much majority of their starters. They got help in some areas, and they added some youth via the draft. But offensively, I didn't see this coming, buddy.
I didn't either, man. They were productive. I mean, Rashad White didn't have a great game, but I mean, the defense kept them in it, and Baker didn't turn the ball over. So,
Yeah.
as we'll discuss in the next contest, we're going to discuss.
Yeah.
Turnovers are key,
Yeah.
and Baker, for all it's worth, I mean, last year struggled to not turn the ball over, and when he did turn the ball over, whatever team he was on, they would lose, whether it was the Rams or the Panthers. But today he played a clean game, and at the end of the day, they got the W in Minnesota, won by 3, 20-17.
Yeah. So, maybe it's time for us to put a little bit of respect on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. We'll stay tuned. Now, from the main event, what you all came to see, it was a defensive stalwart for the first 2-3 quarters of the
I'd say the
game
first
in
three,
Atlanta. Um, and
10-7
to
at one point in the third
pull it
quarter.
out. You know, first let's talk about the rookies making their debuts.
Mm-hmm.
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah,
Holy
he's on my
shit.
team.
He's, he is so good.
He is. But so is Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
have a good problem.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good problem. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember Tyler Algier from last year.
Mhm.
He just looked more decisive with his cuts, with his moves,
Mhm.
running downhill. There was 3 plays in a row where they handed the ball off to Tyler in the first half, and
Mhm.
he just kept on running through us, gutting us, gashing our defense. Um, y'all have a good problem on your hands with 2 really good young running backs.
Yeah. And not to
It kind
mention,
of reminds me of the old days when you had Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman.
yeah. And not to mention, Cordero Patterson was out. So
Inactive.
yeah,
Yeah.
when he gets back healthy, I think
Yeah.
we can really do some special things in Atlanta. Um, Bryce Young.
Yeah. Yeah. He was 20 of 38, 146 yards, a tutty, and 2 picks. He also scrambled 3 times for 17 yards. Majority of that was on 1 carry. He had 16-yard rush.
Yeah.
Um, he did struggle today. One thing that concerned me about y'all's defense with your secondary, I know how good Jesse Bates is, and Jesse Bates was the MVP of the game for you guys.
Yeah.
2 interceptions and a forced fumble. I said to you before we started recording that if it wasn't for Jesse Bates, I feel like that game could have ended up differently.
Oh yes.
Um, I'm sorry, one of the interceptions was in y'all's territory.
Yeah. The first one. The
And
first one. Yeah.
yeah, it stopped us from scoring. Yeah, man, I said it on the last team we just spoke about, the Bucks and Baker. You turn the ball over, it's hard to win on the road, man. And Bryce turned the ball over twice, and then Miles Sanders fumbled the ball. So it was not the outcome I wanted, but it's expected. Bryce is a rookie, man. He's gonna struggle.
Mhm.
Desmond didn't look that great either. I mean, he didn't turn the ball over, but he struggled in the first half. At one point, he had negative 11 yards passing.
Yeah. I want
And
to touch it.
he had like 10 pass attempts.
Yeah. I want to touch on
So
that because that
yeah,
directly corresponds with what I want to do. What I want to keep with the defense aspect, but I want to flip side. I want to talk about your defense.
yeah.
The reason why Desmond Ritter didn't have that big statistical passing game is because every time he dropped back to pass, Brian Burns was looking at him,
Yes.
just square in the face. So
Yes.
he had a lot of batted down passes. He was, because Caleb McGarry couldn't keep him in front of him, it forced Arthur Smith's hand to draw up some screens to try to beat the pressure, let a man go free so you can get out in space and try to make something happen for the ball carrier. And that did not work. It
Nope.
didn't work. Just like we talked about on the last podcast, the, the keys to the game. offensive line, defensive line. We talked about it.
Yeah, it was a pivotal part.
To say our offensive line underperformed is an understatement. I am very disappointed in our offensive line. I thought for
Chris
sure,
Lindstrom got bullied
yeah,
by Derek Brown
yeah,
on multiple downs.
it was an uncharacteristic game. And not only were they getting blown off the line of scrimmage, they were also committing stupid, dumb penalties that they didn't have last year. So Arthur Smith said in the press conference that's something that they will clean up. Not something we'll look at or we'll try. He said that's definitely getting fixed because if you can't pass block, I don't care who your quarterback is, you're not gonna have a good game.
Yeah.
This is not gonna happen.
And I mean, I know you probably seen Eagles and 49ers, and I mean, even the Rams today. Rams look good, surprisingly. And there's a lot of good teams in the NFC that nobody's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to play Carolina every week. I mean, you guys, you run the ball well, but you're going to have to be able to throw it to your playmakers. Drake London was not relevant today at all.
Yeah, he has zero focus.
Kyle Pitts wasn't relevant until the second half. I mean, Bijan played well and Tyler Algier played well. That was the key to the game for you guys was their ability to run.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bijan in the passing game, turnovers were massive for you guys on defense.
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter's going to have to be able to throw the ball downfield. If your offensive line does not play better against better competition, and I feel our defense is going to be top in the NFC, like one of the top.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put us at number one because I think the 49ers kind of hold that spot. But I mean, we'll be top 10, I think. And yeah, I mean, he struggled today. Y'all struggled consistently to hold the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be interesting to see how your offensive line progresses throughout the season going forward. Because, I mean, Lindstrom, all Pro Bowl right guard, he got blown up on a play by Derek Brown, and I was baffled.
Oh yeah,
I was baffled.
Man, it got ugly for the offensive line. And I don't want to keep like making excuses, but I'm going to just say, hey, chalk it up to maybe because they didn't play that much and they didn't play at all in preseason. There's one series. I think that'll probably be the last time they'll do something like that. So, but who knows? But on the flip side, an offensive line unit who struggled in the preseason but was dominant today was your Carolina Panthers, man.
Yeah, we played surprisingly well. We didn't give up any sacks to you guys until I think the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That was impressive because I feel like your pass rush has improved. Y'all play fast on defense. Y'all would call blitzes in the first half and they just weren't working. They weren't getting there.
Yeah.
I mean, Price had all time to throw in the first half. It's just, as I said, in the most recent podcast, we need receivers. I mean, it showed today, man. Nobody was getting open. At one point, y'all were just smothering our receivers. And no offense to Adam Thielen, but he's old and he's not explosive.
Yeah.
But I mean, our offensive line did their part. We ran the ball pretty well. I would like us to be more consistent with the types of runs that were successful. I felt like we were too busy trying to pound it up the middle, and I don't feel like our running backs that's not their strength for Miles Sanders or for Chuba. I feel like the outside zone, the stretch plays, those were better runs for us today. But going forward, hopefully we can build off the success we had today in pass blocking. And hopefully next time our receivers can actually get open. I mean, to the Falcons' credit, I mean, the Falcons do have one of the better secondaries that we'll face all year. So I thank God we don't play all till December.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it doesn't get any easier because next week we play the Saints and they have Marshawn Lattimore and Tyrann Mathieu. So that's not any easier.
Yeah.
We'll see, but I mean, it is a bright spot I will take from this loss is that our offensive line did look good.
Yeah. And if you can keep that
Brady
momentum,
Christensen was looking real good, and Zavala at right guard, the rookie.
Zavala looked real good. Zavala, for a couple plays, he held his own with Grady. I mean, he didn't win all the reps, but he did pretty about as well as a rookie has done on Grady, like in his career. So. Yeah, hats off to Zavala. Um, you know, let's talk about Jesse Bates for a minute, man. You know,
Yeah,
you know,
I was hoping he was injured when he walked off the field that one play, but he just had a cramp.
yeah, you know,
I don't usually wish injuries on anybody, but he was a pain in our ass today.
yeah, Jesse Bates, um, when he signed, people were saying, "Oh, why would you give the safety that much money?" This is
Wait,
why
what?
you give a safety that much money.
Yeah,
This is it. This is why he
we could have used this today.
single-handedly changed the game. Our team captain, he is now the heartbeat of this defense. The defense goes
Oh
and
yeah,
he goes. Uh, he balled out, 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 forced fumble.
yep.
It don't you don't get there. You don't get much better than that in terms of a debut.
That was great. It was a great performance for him, and he's definitely the defensive player of the week for me.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, he seemed unstoppable at points.
Yeah. And as I said in the last pod, I was hoping that maybe we can throw some different things at Bryce and give him some things he wasn't familiar with, and maybe to force a turnover. And the defense executed that twice. And it seems like the both interceptions were on the same plays where they were he was targeting Hayden Hurst, and uh, Jesse Bates was baiting them, no pun intended. And he
Yeah,
was able to jump the routes. And hats off to our new leader on defense, man.
yeah,
He played a whale of a game.
yeah. He had a hell of a game, and I mean, I was messaging some buddies, and they were saying uh, uh, bad things about Bryce, and I said no, give Jesse Bates all the credit. I mean,
Yeah,
he confused Bryce.
yeah,
Bryce thought he was going one way, and he came the other. All hats out to Jesse Bates, man. He played a damn good game, and he was the key to the game and the outcome of the game. Um, I do believe if it wasn't for those 2 picks, I think the outcome would have been different.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, that's football for you. You turn over the ball, you can't expect to win.
yeah. It's a game of inches,
You
man.
turn the
It's
ball over three
something.
times,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
and all three were from Jesse Bates. So
it's crazy.
I mean, what do you say about that?
That's crazy. That's
You can't
crazy.
say it was luck.
Yeah,
He's just that good. He's a
yeah,
very good safety. There's a reason that he got paid as much as he did.
yeah, yeah.
So
Outstanding
kudos to
game by
the
him.
Falcons. Yeah, kudos to the Falcons. Kudos to the D coordinator.
Mm,
Kudos to Jesse Bates most of all, though. I mean,
yeah.
it wasn't something schematic that he did. He just is a really good player.
Hmm.
He's one of the best safeties in the league, and that's what your best players do at the right time. I mean,
Yeah.
you said it yourself about Brian Burns today. Brian Burns dominated that first half.
Oh
That
yeah.
the
Oh
first
yeah.
quarter, you couldn't do
He could
anything
do
offensively.
anything. He blowing up run plays. Blowing up screen passes. You know, my
Stacking
man.
the quarterback.
Yeah, just like he forced Desmond Ritter to complete his first pass to himself.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So yeah,
yeah. It was wild, man. It was it goes to show you that you pay your best players.
yeah.
And I hope to God within the next week we get a deal done with Brian Burns.
If you don't,
Because
it's
if
gonna
you
be a
let this man
problem.
walk, I'm sorry,
That's it. Yeah. If you don't, it's gonna be a problem.
it's going to be a huge problem. I mean, this is why you pay the big name players big money. You keep the guys that produce for you. And Brian Burns and this defense was not the problem today. Our problem was turnovers
Yeah.
and receivers not getting open consistently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I hope Scott Fitterer and David Tepper and Frank Wright figure it out and give him the contract that he wants. I'd pay him whatever he wants at this point. I mean, he
Yeah.
showed today. I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't play the whole preseason.
Yeah. Yeah.
He barely practiced all week.
Yeah.
He just showed up. Oh, I'll do walkthrough.
Yeah.
I'll do a couple of downs.
A
And then
dog.
come game day, he just blew up.
A dog is a dog.
Yeah.
I do want to show love to Bryce Young. He completed his first NFL touchdown pass It was a beautiful throw. It was, back shoulder to Hayden Hurst, who walked into the end zone. I feel like given the circumstances, given this his first start, he played with a lot of poise, man. You can see why he was a number one overall pick. Um, I feel like Carolina fans, as you just stated, is being unnecessarily harsh on him.
Very critical.
You know,
It's week one.
Week one, man. Like, I'm trying to figure out who they're comparing him to because the last couple of years, your quarterbacks was PJ Walker, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. Like,
Yeah, I had a
relax,
buddy.
dude.
I had a group chat today, and one of the guys in the group chat is a Panthers fan, and he said, "Well, if Sam Darnold was our quarterback, we would have won this game today." And I said, "You're a fake fan.
Nah,
You're a fake fan.
nah,
I don't care how many
not
years we
Sammy D.
struggled as a franchise. Sam Darnold wouldn't have won today.
Not
Sam
Sam,
Darnold probably wouldn't have had this game as close as it was for three
nah,
quarters."
not Sammy D.
Bryce Young is very poised. Even
Mhm.
when he threw those picks today, he did not get overly rattled. He still came back and made plays. First half, we were pretty productive on third down. Second half, we weren't. Um, Turnovers and third down conversions were the keys to the game. And at the end of the day, that doesn't just fall on Bryce. That also falls on the receivers that he plays with.
Yeah,
That falls on the OC as well, Thomas Brown and Frank Reich as well, to put Bryce in better positions
yeah,
to make more plays. I felt like that touchdown drive we had, I feel like that was a great drive of play calling and execution. But then after that, it just seemed very sporadic,
yeah,
very inconsistent, and sometimes too cute.
yeah.
And I don't like too cute. I like the execution of
Yeah,
consistency.
meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do what works. And that touchdown drive, we had a lot of good play calls, and then we just stopped doing what worked. And for those fans out there who are already saying that we made a mistake taking Bryce and we should have took Anthony Richardson because Anthony Richardson played well against the Jaguars. I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree.
yeah.
But that's
Disagree,
just me.
but you can see the
Let's
logic.
pump the brakes a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
Let's pump the brakes a little bit.
yeah,
It's 1 week. Bryce, I, I hate when fans overreact.
yeah,
And let's keep in mind, Bryce didn't play a lot in the preseason.
yeah.
I
Um,
mean, he's a rookie. You have to give him
yeah.
time.
That's the main thing. Like people are losing track of. I don't know why they think rookie quarterbacks are supposed to hit the ground running. That's very rare that
Yeah.
it happens. I think the last time it happened was Justin Herbert, and they didn't even make the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah,
I don't understand.
but I think all in all, Bryce Young played like a rookie. He wasn't
Yeah.
terrible. He belongs in the NFL.
Yeah.
I just think people need to be patient, and I think this off season they need to just surround him with weapons. If you can surround
Yeah.
this man with weapons, he will be deadly efficient. There was a couple throws that I was just like, man, what in the and then they showed the replay, and I'm like, I can't even be mad because our defender was there. He beat him to the spot first, and that's all you can ask for with a quarterback.
You could see throughout the game, Bryce was throwing with anticipation,
Yeah,
and sometimes it was to a fault because he
yeah,
would over anticipate and
yeah,
he would throw the ball too soon,
yeah,
and the receiver wasn't ready. But that's just a matter of getting on the same page and me understanding when I run this route, okay, I need to be ready to cut and catch because Bryce is going to throw it at this point. I think when you push through weeks 2 through 9, the next 7 weeks, I think that you'll see the progression of the receiving core and Bryce getting a better connection and more continuity because there's a lot of throws he missed today that was just a matter of them not being in sync.
yeah. Also,
So,
if you play fantasy football, you need to probably go pick up Hayden Hurst like yesterday. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he threw a lot to Hayden Hurst.
That's going to be his favorite receiver, folks. As it usually is with rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So let's move forward to next week. Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
New Orleans
Yeah.
Saints.
Saints, Panthers, and Charlotte.
Yeah. And like we talked about yesterday, you do not want to be down 0-2 in the division because
No.
everyone in the division outside the Panthers won today, surprisingly.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Didn't expect the Bucks to win, but
what?
that puts more pressure on us, man.
Yeah. What are you hoping to see um, come next week?
So my big thing, I seen it today, and I just think it was a matter of continuity and the fact that y'all's secondary is that good. But I need to see more explosive plays on both the run and the pass from Carolina. At times today, it seemed like we didn't have any explosiveness, and I think part of that is continuity. Part of that is that DJ Chark wasn't there. DJ Chark was brought in to be our deep threat, and he didn't play today. He was injured from a hamstring injury.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully by next Monday he'll be able to play, and he'll bring some explosiveness to the offense. But that's what I want to see, man, against the Saints. I know the Saints have a good defense, but we have to be able to expose defense's weaknesses. I feel like today we could have done it against Atlanta, but I just think everything just wasn't lined up correctly. I think we need more time, more continuity, and better play calling, more consistent play calling with downfield plays. Guys need to step up. I mean, plain and simple. I mean, Steve Smith ain't walking through that door. You got to play better at receiver. I need Mingo to step up, Adam Thielen to step up, Hayden Hurst, Terrace Marshall. Hopefully we get DJ Chark in there. We're not really in a position because I've heard some Panthers fans say, well, since T. Higgins ain't getting paid, why don't we try to go trade for T. Higgins? I agree, but what are you going to give up for T. Higgins?
Yeah.
We don't have a first round pick next year because one of my buddies said, "Oh, we should tank for Marvin Harrison Jr."
You don't have a pick.
We don't have a first round pick. We don't have a first round pick next year. So, and the thing is, yes, we're going to have salary cap next year, but you don't really want to get into a bidding war for a wide receiver,
especially not today's market. These receivers are going for astronomical money. So
yeah,
your best bet is to try to draft a stud and cultivate them. But if you got to pay, you got to pay.
I like Terrace Marshall. I like Jonathan Mingo. We need to develop these guys, and they need to build a rapport with Bryce Young. We have Miles Sanders. We have Chuba. Chuba looked good today. Chuba looked explosive.
He did.
We need big plays on both the run and the pass. We need chunk plays. Not every play, but we need to be able to be that threat downfield, whether that's in the run or in the pass. We need to find ways to move the ball downfield and not be getting little chip plays of 5 yards or less. That's not the way to win in the NFL, and it's very conservative. I think the road environment in Atlanta, harsh crowd, I think that played into it today with play calling. I think next Monday, I think we will be more aggressive. I'm hoping that's what I see.
Yeah.
So,
as for my Falcons, we got Green Bay next week.
they look good today too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody looked good against Justin Fields, and that I don't even want to say it's Justin Fields because it's that coaching staff. I hate how they were calling plays. I hate it. They were calling two-man route concepts, and they were having the running back peel off in the flat or do a little Texas route. I don't want to get started because the majority of his passes were check downs, and I got him in fantasy, so I'm a little upset. But Latifah, I'm sorry. I'm watching the Cowboys Giants game, and they got Queen Latifah doing the national anthem, and that's random to me. But
one little stat real quick
about
a former Panther that everybody was complaining we shouldn't have traded. DJ Moore had 2 catches for 25 yards today.
Hey man, that's what I'm saying. That coaching staff did them no. I watched that game. They took 0 deep shots. Everything was just like short and everything was short. There was no intermediate game. It was just short, like in the flat or a slant or a curl. Don't get me. I'm about to get mad. All right. My Falcons play the Packers. I expect our offensive line to play much better. I expect our passing game to play much better because we're gonna need it. Um, we're gonna have to be able to uh, put points on the board in order to beat this Packers team because they put up. Uh, I won't count the defensive pick six. They put up 31 points without their number one receiver. So we're gonna need to string it together and put pressure on and just play an overall cleaner game to pull out the W.
It is in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So there's that. Maybe your home field advantage will play into Jordan Love's head.
Hey, I hope so. Hopefully we can get healthier at the cornerback position because Akuda and Mike Hughes did not play. So hopefully, we can get healthier and get some of our guys back. Hopefully Cordero will play because he brings a element to this team that we did not have today. But
you also have Bucks at home against the Bears next Sunday.
Bucks 2-0?
Maybe. If the Bears are going to win a game, that should be one they could win.
Yeah.
Because I do hold the Packers in a high regard as far as their roster.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers have one of the better rosters in
the league.
Yeah. They do a hell of a job scouting talent.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, folks, we're gonna get out of here. There's another game coming on. And my wife, the Cowboys fan, will rip my joints off if she misses kickoff. So you got anything you want to say to the Panthers fans, just as the voice of reasoning, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. As the voice of reasoning for this channel, for my fan base, respectfully, calm the hell down.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's week 1. Atlanta has a good team. They have a great, talented roster that's developing just like we are. It takes time. Bryce is a rookie. Calm down. Let's not start trading the farm away and saying we made a mistake drafting him and we need to clear house and we should have gotten this guy over that guy. Mm-hmm. It's week 1. Calm down. Atlanta is a tough place to play.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get any easier because in week 3, we play at Seattle.
Yeah.
So calm down. There's certain times that Bryce Young might struggle. Yeah. It's okay. It's part of being a rookie.
Yeah. And as for my Falcons fans, turn up, baby. It's the first time since 2017 that we above 500. Get right, baby. 1-0, Dirty Bird.
Yeah, this is y'all's first week 1 win in 6 years.
Who cares? We got it today.
I didn't know that. I was just surprised. Did you also know that including today, Frank Reich is still winless in week 1 openers as a head coach?
Hey, man.
He's now like 0-5,
yeah.
I think, or 0-6.
Hey, pleasure doing business, man. But we got a lot to look forward to. The season just getting started, folks, and we hope you stick around with us for more with the Kings of the South podcast. Again, I'm Cory. That's TJ. Signing out. Catch y'all next time.
Peace.